Hello, welcome to the Cameron Smallwood Show. I'm your host, Cameron Smallwood, with Alex Kropczynski as usual. Uh, we got a pretty big show to talk about. We're doing a special Friday show since we have to do a show before the Super Bowl. It's kind of a big deal this week. Um,
Yes, sir.
Krop, how's your week? Past couple weeks in terms of sports?
Not too bad. Pacers aren't doing terrible, at least from what I can see. I don't really get to watch the games all that often. I never find the time to. But with everything else seems to be going well. Baseball hasn't started yet, so I ain't got the Braves to root for yet, and football's over for the most part. Got the Super Bowl Sunday, and gets a wrap on this season.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I wasn't really happy about the Tom Brady going to the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl again, but that seems like it's a yearly thing at this point.
Yeah, it dang near is.
Yeah, I used to hate Tom Brady a lot more than I do now. I think now it's just like envy and respect. Mostly now it's like this weird mix of that, and I still hate him, but like you gotta admit that he's the greatest quarterback of all time. As much as it hurts me to say that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. At this point, is he chasing his 7th ring now?
Yeah, his 10 Super Bowls.
10 Super Bowls. It's kind of crazy.
I really thought he was done after that leaving New England last year, but he clearly showed that it wasn't just Belichick; it was a lot of him. And yep, just RIP to all Colts fans right now because it's been a bad couple months for us.
Yeah, it has not been the greatest.
Yeah.
We could have had Tom Brady too, though. I will say that.
Yeah, Tom Brady's agent said they wanted to come here, or briefly mentioned in one of his press conferences that Tom Brady expressed interest here. They expressed an interest in Tom Brady until Frank Reich decided to go with Phil Rivers, which didn't turn out to be too bad, but I feel like he would have been in a better spot with Tom Brady.
Yeah, no, it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be.
Oh no, I was relatively hopeful after the first 2 games. I was not that hopeful. But then he quickly showed out and had one of his best seasons of his career, and he went out on his own terms instead of playing too long.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he played very well throughout the entire year.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if they had someone who was really good at quarterback, if Philip Rivers did that well with the O-line and the defense and all that.
Yeah, and that's a big question this offseason for the Colts. And that's what we're going to get to later in the show, talking about the quarterback we want the most this year, because there's definitely a lot of options for the Colts, not only in free agency or trades, but also in the draft. And I'm excited to see what the Colts do because I have good confidence in Frank Reich and Chris Ballard.
As well as I do. I agree with you right there. I mean, I think they'll make the best decision possible for the Colts.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's go back to Super Bowl because we got the Kansas City Chiefs and we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In Tampa Bay, the first Super Bowl team to play at home, which is kind of insane. And I think it's something.
It actually is.
It's something that we always thought Tom Brady could have done if they actually had Super Bowl set in Foxborough, but that never happened. But yeah, he got to do it this time. And yeah, so I'm just wondering who's your pick, because this is one of the most I think closest Super Bowls in a while.
Yeah, I'm really back and forth on it for the most part. I think after doing and looking up who's starting, what injuries are to both teams, I really think Tom Brady's going to pull off 7 rings because the Chiefs are starting 2 backup left tackles, and I think Jason Pierre-Paul will have a day, to say the least.
Yeah, it's kind of insane.
Super Bowl MVP if he gets going.
Yeah, and it's kind of insane to think that how good that defense is without their regular season wasn't that great in terms of defense, but man, in the playoffs they got, I believe, 3 picks off of Drew Brees, and then in the Packers game, Tom Brady threw 3 picks and they still won the game by 8 or by 5. Yeah,
that defense is pretty good.
Yeah, and that's something that the other teams didn't really have. And I think Tom Brady could, if Tom Brady can just do the right things against what I think is a okay Chiefs defense but a really good secondary, um, and if they just make the right runs with Jones and Fournette, then I can see Tampa Bay coming out on top.
Who's your pick then?
Oh God, it's just so hard. You got Mahomes on the other side, and Mahomes can do anything at any time. I think I'll just have to go Buccaneers on my pick. It hurts me. This is probably the first time I've ever picked Tom Brady to win a Super Bowl, but after what he's proved to everybody this season, I see Tom Brady and Bruce Arians getting their rings.
I completely agree. I really don't think there's. I love what Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have done. It's just hard for me to sit here and think that with all the injuries and everything else going on that they won't get it at this point. I think it's going to be a close game regardless. I think it's decided by 7 or less.
Yeah, and I believe Antonio Brown is questionable right now, but I think even without Antonio Brown, they have a pretty good chance of winning because I don't think Antonio Brown's a huge part of that offense. A lot of it is Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And so, yeah, the injuries on the Chiefs side is going to hurt them too much, and Buccaneers are just way too healthy at this point, and they're way too hot.
Yeah, I completely agree. I wish I could watch a game. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I might have to work, but I might try to work my way around it and get off early so I can watch it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been working at a pizza place on Sunday, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I gotta work at the good old Culver's. Gonna try to get a morning shift so I can watch the game at night.
Hopefully, I get to be able to watch the end of it. Hopefully, but if I don't, I'll get to watch Tom Brady on YouTube.
Yeah, you guys got those TVs. Just throw it on there.
Yeah. I'll probably be watching it, but I'll be getting yelled at by some Karen. Next we got so a little something that happened on Twitter yesterday. There's number one trending on Twitter was Andrew Luck, and in case you weren't aware, apparently someone who is married to someone is like a really close friend with Andrew Luck's wife, and there's these series of texts that were posted on Twitter, and basically it says that Andrew Luck is missing football, and he had a meeting with Jimmy from the Colts. So yeah,
I don't know. Just if it's true. Well, first, there's two things about it. If it's true, first off, I'm ecstatic that hopefully Andrew Luck is coming back, and second off, that friend. That's like I would never. I don't think a friend would do that. That's got a close friend. Yeah, do you think they would really leak that out?
Yeah,
that's what kind of gets me thinking it's not real.
Right, and it's just the weirdest thing. It's like the privacy that they violated, and I just don't. There's just no proof that it's really them. And then Irsay came out today and said Andrew Luck is more retired than he was a year ago, and there's no meeting in place. And I don't think Irsay would really lie about that. I think he probably would have, if that would have been leaked, maybe they would have announced it if it is true. But yeah, I don't see it happening. Even though we'd all love to see it, and I think he could come back and play just as good as he was before.
Yeah, and I completely agree. Obviously, everybody would love to have him back here, but he's got a family, he's got other things to focus on, and I wish the best for him. It's just I do wish he was here, and if the rumors are false, the rumors are false. I mean, you just got to move on with it, really.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. Is everyone moving on? I think I've moved on at this point. It took me a while, but I've kind of shut the door on Andrew Luck, and I think many people have.
Yeah, and it also kind of sucked watching Stafford get traded to the Rams.
Yeah,
that was the quarterback I really wanted to have.
Yeah, I think everybody from the Colts wanted him, and we knew we had a chance, and we actually had talks with the Lions to get him, but the Rams just outbid us, and they gave up a lot. I think they gave him too much for Matt Stafford.
I agree, but I think it was for compensation of the contract they were taking over, really, more than anything.
Yeah, it is, and I think the fact that Um, I think they got the quarterback they wanted, and I don't think they wanted Goff because I think McVay and Goff did not really click as well as we thought, at least this past season. Uh, and they gave up 2 firsts and a 3rd-round pick and Goff. And I think the Lions had a great trade. I think they may have. I think I would say they won the trade, but we'll see if Stafford can have a couple great seasons with the Rams, which I think he can. But so far, the new Lions era is looking pretty good so far.
And yeah, I mean, I agree. It's just I don't know how that necessarily benefits the Rams as much as any other team that needed Matthew Stafford. I see that obviously Matthew Stafford is better than Jared Goff, but like I don't know, just like that seems like the Rams are in a really win now mentality, and if they wanted to go do that, and I think they gave up a lot for Matthew Stafford. Not to sit here and I don't think they have a pick till 2026 or something now, a 1st-round pick or something. Like
Yeah,
that.
and their last 1st-round pick was Jared Goff. Just put that in
And
perspective.
now he's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know what they should do.
Yeah, I think if Rams would have traded for him like a couple years ago, maybe they would have been in like a win now scenario and probably would have won that Super Bowl when Jared Goff took him. I just don't think they have the roster to be in a win now situation. Because at least on the offensive side, defense, they play great every week. It seems like, at least this year. And you got Aaron Donald on that D line, but yeah, we'll see how the Rams do.
Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, I mean, pretty shut down for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this upcoming offseason for a lot of teams, will be switching quarterbacks just like last year. I think just as much. And the QB carousel is going to be going right around. We got Derek Carr, who could be in trade talks. We got Marcus Mariota, who's getting some attention through his performance from last year. And then we got Carson Wentz. We got Jameis Winston, who may be on the move, may not be. Could be the new quarterback for the Saints. Not as big of a names as last year, but I think could be some switching up here with a lot of these teams.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of moving for a lot of these quarterbacks. Cam Newton's going to be on the move somewhere. You said Derek Carr is in trade talks. I don't blame him at this point. The Raiders can't seem to get anything going, and I don't necessarily want to blame Carr for that, but I don't think that's all his fault, really. But he's had his fair share of chances in Oakland. I mean, there's a lot of good quarterbacks to really choose from.
Yeah, and then you have the 49ers, who could probably will have a new QB next year. They will be moving on from Garoppolo, from what we understand. Garoppolo, he's always been kind of a weird quarterback to me. Like, he can just go off on some games, and some games he looks like Nathan Peterman.
Yeah, and I really, really Garoppolo is one of those quarterbacks. I agree with you. It's just weird. I don't really know how else to say it as well. I don't know. I think ideally he goes back to New England.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Yeah, because the Patriots need a QB, and the Niners, they need a trade to go, and I think Niners could possibly be in a win now situation if they get that good quarterback. And then we got over in back to the Patriots, we got Cam Newton, who maybe I don't know if anyone would want to pick him up after how he performed this year. Then we got Sam Darnold in the Jets, who I think could be a good quarterback with a good team.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick quarterbacks that I could see on the Colts, I want Derek Carr, Sam Darnold. The draft is, I think those are the two I like right now. Free agent quarterbacks, I'm not really very overhyped about by any means. I think trading for Derek Carr or Sam Darnold is ideal in that sense. But as far as that goes in the draft, unless they trade up, I don't think they should take anybody. If you don't get anybody in free agency, I think they just let it rest.
Yeah, and then we have the guy named Jacob Eason, who no one really knows about. He did an interview recently with the NFL, and he said he's ready to start if they can give him the chance. And I believe in Jacob Eason. We're not really. I don't think Chris Ballard really does because he mentioned that he's not ready to be a starter. But I think Jacob Eason could be that guy, given the fact the talent around him, and especially if we re-sign T.Y. Hilton. If we get a good wide receiver in the draft, and I've seen Chris Godwin's name thrown around that the Colts are looking at in free agency this year after his season with Tampa Bay ends. I think Chris Godwin could be a good number 2 wide receiver.
I completely agree. You said that to me the other night, and I was really thinking about it. I think our main focus, at least that first round draft pick, given it's not traded or anything, should be on tackle. Maybe pick up Chris Godwin or like a Juju Smith-Schuster, something like that. I'm not like super high on Juju, but I want him. The Chris Godwin thing I think is really nice. He could be a number 1.
Yeah, I've always thought he's great. He hasn't got the same attention as he has with like Mike Evans has his teammate, which for good reason because Mike Evans can show out. But yeah, I like Chris Godwin a lot, and I think with the right QB, he can really excel. Because Tom Brady, let's face it, he can't throw as far as he used to because he's 43. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Colts tackle that wide receiver and that offensive tackle situation and the QB situation because they're I think our top 3 needs this season.
Yeah, and they should be. I think corner is another need that needs to be addressed as well. But I think Ballard he'll make all the right decisions when it comes down to it. But I was watching a YouTube video, I believe, and they were going over the Senior Bowl standouts. And there's this one guy, and the Senior Bowl, you get invited. It doesn't matter. You could be D3 all the way up to Alabama in the Senior Bowl. And there's this one O-lineman. I didn't know if he was a tackle or guard, whatever he may be, but he was looking nasty.
Yeah, I saw him.
I don't remember his name. I was trying to find it before we started. I couldn't remember his name or the college he went to, but he was looking really good, and his stock, I'm sure, is skyrocketing right now.
Yeah, I think I saw the same video. He was just pancaking people left and right. And
yeah, he was a beast.
Yeah, and whoever he is, I wish I've remembered to research his name before, but yeah, if we can get someone like him, who maybe wasn't getting a lot of attention before the Senior Bowl, because I believe the Senior Bowl is one of the most important parts of the draft. I think it's very underrated, and I think that's where a lot of the scouts get their information. And it's just as important as the combine.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think I didn't watch it, but I did. I've seen highlights and seen the names that are rising. I heard Kellen Mond, quarterback for Texas A&M, played amazing, and he's one of those players that I think he could be really good. I wouldn't mind him at all either.
Oh,
and that's an easy 2nd to 3rd round pick.
Yeah, that's where we can excel because I believe we have it's either 2 2nd-round picks or 3 or 2 3rd-round picks. I'm not sure which one, but I think in one of those rounds we have multiple ones, and I think that's where we can do some damage like we usually do, like last year when we got Pittman and Jonathan Taylor in the same round.
Yeah, I think we're in good hands at the moment. I really don't think if you can't trade for Carr, Darnold, said Donald. I think you really don't worry about a free agent quarterback.
Yeah, I think just let it. I mean, obviously, I haven't seen what Eason is doing. I've heard good things though, but I think just let Eason start and maybe get a backup through the draft or through free agency. Just like a guy who can compete with him. I think we could be looking at an AFC South championship or champion next year in the Colts, unless Jaguars go off or Titans. Derrick Henry carries them for another year.
Yeah, and that's just how it is. Eason could be really good or it could be really bad. I think he still needs development, but that's just all up to them. They know more than we do, clearly, but I think we're in good hands when it comes down to it.
Yeah, and One last quarterback I want to talk about, which I think is very controversial at this point because of how his last season has gone. Carson Wentz for the Eagles. Very close to Frank Reich because Frank Reich coached for a couple years in the Eagles, won the Super Bowl with the Eagles. Probably had a lot of time with Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. And I think just Carson Wentz is a big possibility. I don't want him because I feel like he's just locker room cancer in my opinion. I think he thinks too much of himself because of his one year, and I think that he's not as good as he used to be. Unfortunately, if he had a great season last year, I would definitely try to get him, but I just don't think he's Carson Wentz the MVP Carson Wentz that we saw.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it aside from I don't want Carson Wentz. I don't want him at all. That contract is too big. He's not what he played the one good season he had. He's not that level anymore.
Yeah, and
I don't want him at all.
And it's kind of crazy is that quarterback class of 2016, I believe. Yeah, that was we thought that was going to be one of the best quarterback classes because you had Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott. I just know that all of them are they've been traded, benched, or cut, except for Dak Prescott, Dak Prescott could be a possible quarterback for the Colts next year as well.
I don't see him leave at Dallas, but I would not mind that at all.
Yeah. So on Tuesday night, me and my friend Blake, a good friend of the show, we went to my first live sporting event in over a year at the Pacers in Bankers Life, and it was a good experience. They had all the social distancing stuff, and I was seated right next to the announcers because they moved them back, and that was a cool experience to have. And Pacers, who up until last week we were really on fire, honestly. We won that game against the Memphis Grizzlies, a very good team as well. And then last night we head to Milwaukee and kind of got blown out there because I feel like the combination of playing a back-to-back and then going to Milwaukee was pretty heavy on the Pacers players. But Sabonis hit a career high in points last night at 33. And Sabonis, I don't know why he's not getting any more attention than he is. And I feel like he should be in the All-Star starting team. Unfortunately, he's not because it's fan voted, and he's 7th, I believe. But yeah, we're gonna look at another All-Star repeat for Sabonis.
Yeah, and he's playing amazing basketball right now. He's playing the best basketball he's ever played, and I think he should be considered higher up right now, at least with everybody else. But like you said, it's fan voting. Not many people watch Pacers, know about the Pacers or anything. It's a small market team and everything, so there is that.
Yeah, and it sucks because you're hearing all these names for MVP with Durant, and you got Joel Embiid who's in there now, even though he hasn't played. He hasn't played half the season, I believe. And you got LeBron James, who's always an MVP candidate. You got Anthony Davis. Those are some big names, but if those guys don't really keep their consistency for the rest of the year, and Sabonis does, which I believe he can, maybe he sneaks in there. I'm not saying he should win, but if he gets a finalist, maybe top 3, that'd be kind of big.
That would be pretty big, honestly.
Yeah, and I've always looked at Sabonis as one of those quiet guys. They don't really talk a lot to the media, and you don't really hear about him that much. But he's like the Karate Kid. He goes out there and he just crane kicks your face, and that's a bonus, man.
Yeah, him and Brogdon are playing amazing. I think Pacers are in a good spot right now. I mean, they're only a game and a half back from Milwaukee in central standings at least.
Yeah, I think we're 5th in the East right now. Probably gonna make the playoffs, and I think we're one of those teams where if you let in, they could make an upset in the first round, second round. And with this new coach, Nate Bjorken, he seems like a big step up from McMillan from last year, who led us to 2 straight sweeps. And I feel like Pacers are in a really good spot, and Sabonis is gonna keep balling out, even though we lost Victor Oladipo, which I don't think we've really talked about. Maybe I don't know if we talked about last episode, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't think it was too much of a loss. I mean, I think Caris LeVert, whenever he's come back and is healthy, will ball out. I really like Caris LeVert a lot. I think he's a really good basketball player. He's putting up good numbers when Durant was injured and everything. I really did like that trade a lot.
Yeah, especially the fact that he's a Michigan guy. I think I like him a lot too. And when he comes back, and when Warren can come back, I think Pacers at full strength, they're scary. And
Yeah, I mean, great group of players, honestly.
yeah.
Great starting five. It's an underrated starting five, and people are going to sleep on it. And then, you know, Turner, what, didn't he break his hand or something the other day?
He fractured his hand a couple weeks ago, but he's back now.
Yeah,
He's blocking the ball too much.
Yeah. he was playing great, honestly, recently. He's someone who stepped up big time, in my opinion.
I think Miles Turner and Jeremy Lamb have been big surprises lately. And then, since we're on the subject of the NBA, the Nets, who just put together the scariest big three this year, they have, I think, one of the best offensive ratings, I think, in the last couple years ever. But they also have one of the worst defensive ratings in the NBA. So I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on.
I think the other day I saw they have right now they have like one of the highest offensive efficiencies like all time, or would be the highest all time. And then their defensive efficiency was would be considered the worst all time as well.
Yeah, and it's kind of surprising, but when you think about it, KD, Kyrie, and Harden have never really been known as defensive guys.
No, they're all offensive heavy players.
Yeah, I think Durant's probably he can play defense when he needs to, but Harden, he's always been known as like a soft defensive player. Same with Kyrie. I think when you have all three of those guys who aren't really defensive players, you can't really stop the ball, and I think that's why teams like the Cavs are beating them by so much, because their offense can't keep up, and that's gonna. I mean, they're currently I think third in the East, which is insane. But I don't know how long Kyrie, Harden, and Durant's shooting can keep them winning.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're always going to be in games because of that, but the defense is just not there.
Yeah. So another short episode here. It is a little hard because Alex is in Lafayette. I'm about an hour away, and so it's kind of hard to get these out on a regular basis, and especially with school starting. And it's just, but I'm glad we get to do this at least once a week. We'll be starting doing it Monday, and hopefully at a regular pace if we can get some time to do that, and we'll be putting these episodes out weekly.
Yeah, hopefully we'll probably be able to get them out weekly. You know, my schedule's pretty free on Monday nights for the most part, so should be able to get these out every week.
And I'm excited to see how the Super Bowl turns out. First, I won't be able to watch a lot of it, but I'll be watching a lot of replays. And then we got the free agency coming up, and then we got trades. So we'll be keeping a lookout on that, and excited to see what happens with the Colts and the Pacers the next coming months.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Krop, for coming on again.
Hey, no problem.
And we'll see you next week.